Hey there, viewers, and welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. Guys, 2017, I believe it is. This is the Jeep. It's the Wrangler. I think it's got the big 3.6 and the money lights on. The guy says it runs rough. I started up this morning to bring it in, and it seemed to run perfectly fine to me. I didn't drive around it all. I pulled it up to the door here, shut it off, came inside, forgot my clicker, opened the door, went out to start it, and then as soon as I started it, the second time it started running really rough. Brought it in here, shut it off, started again, same thing. So it definitely has a dead misfire, but when I initially started, it did run good, and well, frankly, that's all I know. We gave it the classic system scan here with the Altel, a couple codes. We'll go to report. 2017 Wrangler, 67,000 miles on her. We have a cylinder 3 misfire, and look at that, fuel injector number 3 circuit open, a PO203. So that's kind of interesting. All right, well, let's have a little gander. It's a Jeep thing. We'll pop the hood. The hood popper. Let's see, here's that. Hopefully it's not one under the intake. Cylinder 3, I don't know which one that is. This is bank 1 over here, I'll tell you that much. So I don't know if it's 1, 2, 3. I doubt it. Maybe it's 1, 3, 5. Let's look it up. Hey, we got lucky today. According to service date, it is 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6. It's easy to tell on an engine which bank on a V configuration, which is bank 1. It's always the bank that sits further ahead. So oftentimes, like, you can look at the timing cover on this and see that, you know, this bank sits further ahead, so that therefore is typically cylinder 1, or at least bank 1 in most cases. I'm probably wrong in some cases, but more often than not, that's how it's laid out. Oh, let's see, what do we have here? Okay, so we've got this little connector here, because it's right underneath that metal plate, but at least it's not under the intake. That's a good thing. Unless you have to pull the intake to pull the rail to change the injector, if the injector's bad, which we don't know yet. Interesting that this little Christmas tree fastener here has been removed. So what are the possibilities here of what could be wrong? That's interesting. This little Christmas tree fastener has been removed also. I'm just looking to see if somebody's been here. I don't know this customer. It's a first time flyer. So here's what I'm thinking. We could have a bad injector, bad PCM, bad wire. So I say first thing first, because we don't know any history about this. Not that it really matters. Other than these couple Christmas tree fasteners, it doesn't look like it's fiddled with. If these bolts have been off. No, this one has a paint mark on it from the factory. And unless they lined it back up perfectly, which I doubt, that hasn't been touched. So we'll see. I guess what I was getting at, long story short, let's just get to the injector, check the resistance on it to see if we just simply have a bad injector. Then if not, we'll change our diagnostic plan from there. This is the injector harness here. We could probably, you know what? We could probably do our resistance check right from here prior to pulling it apart. I'm thinking I have no idea how this connector comes undone. Looks like you pull back on that thing. Yeah, it must be. Oh, look at that. That's fancy. Yeah, let me get a wire color here. That might give us a good indication, because if we check it here and it's bad, and we check it the injector it's good, then we know it's a wiring issue, you know, to a certain degree. Here, it's interesting. That came up a little bit too easy. Like you'd been out before. Oh wait, we're missing the engine cover too. Okay, I just realized that. I think we've got to unhook these plastic bits here, which we have to be a little bit cautious of to get to these other bolts. Let's just see if we can't sneak behind the plastic bits with our socket. is that one. Okay, let me set these bolts to the side. And nuts, bolts and nuts. Oh, this sucks. Okay, this bracket goes down a lot further than I thought it did. Awesome, Chrysler. Dang. Where does that go? Oh, you know what? You know what might be good about this? The last ding dong that worked on it didn't put the nuts back on the bottom. That's nice. That's handy of us. Him, her, whoever did that. What about these? What are these attached to? They're just attached to rubber. Okay. I tell you what, before we yank it up off, yeah, let's, looks like we've got a brown down there and a brown with light blue. So we're gonna have one common, the brown wire, and then the brown with light blue, which I can see right there. I got a brown white and a brown with light blue. Do I have any solid browns? I don't think so. Must be, my mind might be playing tricks on me. It might be brown white, yeah, because the brown white is the common here on this #1 injector, brown white with brown and yellow. Let's see, can I find that one on this connector? I got a couple brown whites. We have a brown and yellow. Maybe it's not brown and yellow, maybe it's brown and tan. All right. And the rear injector, we see that easily. Probably not. Tell you what, I'm gonna grab us a wiring diagram. We're gonna check it right from here. That way there we have pin numbers and we know where, because it is clearly labeled 1 through 12 across the top. Sorry, 13 through 24. I can't see the bottom numbers, but being that we have pin numbers, let's just check it right here before we go any further. Obviously somebody's been here. Like I say, it's missing bolts, it's missing, you know, the Christmas tree fastener and stuff are out. So that gives me an indication that somebody before us was already here. That's usually the quickest telltale, is for whatever reason, nobody ever puts anything back. So this is kind of interesting. According to the OEM diagram, cylinders 2, 4, and 6 run into this connector, which I can see here because it says pin 1 is brown and white, which it is. The control for number 2 is pin 11, which is dark, or yeah, blue, brown with dark blue. The control for number 4 is pin 14, so that's gonna be this one down here, which is, yeah. Oh my gosh. And then pin number 24, which is supposed to be brown and violet, which would be this one here. And that's brown and purple. Unless the OEM diagram is wrong, which it could be, it only has 3 of the injectors that run through this connector, and it says here that the control for 1, 3, and 5 just go straight to the PCM. They do not show it in the connector. They share the common here with pin 1, so this brown with white feeds power to all 6 injectors, but the control for 1, 3, and 5 just go directly to the PCM with no inline connector, which I find is kind of hard to believe, but in case you guys don't believe me, which you shouldn't, you can see here, you know, clearly it shows a connector called the inline injector powertrain connector. They don't even give a connector number on it. And then on this side, they show no connector. Just shows the control wires going straight to the PCM. Well, I guess we have to believe it, so let's try to get that bracket out of there. Which to me, that seems totally silly. Not a good silly either. Like, that's just stupid. I guess we can check them at the PCM, but let's kind of tweak that out of the way a little bit. See if we can't get this mother lover up. Maybe somebody took this apart because they put spark plugs in it or something. I don't know. Let's it's some kind of freaking puzzle. The good news is they didn't put the bolts back in the bottom, which is really a little bit helpful. What the flip, man? this Christmas tree fastener down here is not installed either. So yeah, somebody's definitely been here. Oh, maybe that's the one we've already looked at. Could be. What do I know? There's another one down there that's not put in either. Maybe it's had a motor put in it or something. Well, this thing certainly will not come out without further disassembly of stuff. Let's get this line here out of the way. Let me go get a something. This is the vacuum for our purge, or the line that runs from the canister. One or the other, I don't know which one it is. One of them. Oh, it's the canister one. Yeah, we're gonna need to pop this up or open. Yeah, let me go get something. Some kind of prying apparatus. Well, it looks like, oh, I see, they're individual. Oh, this is real freaking handy, Dodge. Oh, wow. Yeah, let's get a pick here. This is real stupid. Oh, you're gonna piss me off. What an idiotic design. They're a one-time use. Push it together and forget about it. You might need a zip tie to go back together. Nope, we don't. We got it. Woo! That was easy. That's using your noodle, Chrysler. Okay, we'll hook this one back in. Sometimes I think the engineers are just a bunch of 3-year-olds with a box of crayons, but what do I know? Okay, so that must be hard piped with no quick connect on it. Oh, there's a quick connect, but there ain't no, there's not. No, sir, because that's a hard pipe right there. Well, that's a great idea. Genius, Dodge, genius. So that's hard pipe, so we can't do anything about it, but we can at least get it up that far. So maybe that gives us a little extra something. I thought it would. It's just basically by wasting some time. Chrysler, you're gonna piss me off, man. Can we get this whole stupid battery tray thing out of here now? This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I'm gonna have to turn off the camera, I think. Because I'm probably gonna do some stuff that you guys aren't gonna like to watch. Or hear, you know what I'm saying? Come on now. It's like the price is right. You know what? Just stay there. You're good. We don't need to take you out any further than that, my guy. Let's see. There was our offending connector. The good news is the fuel injectors do not look like they've been touched, nor has that connector down there. The only thing I'm wondering is if she's still misfiring. But we're not going to check it. What we're going to do is we're going to get a known good. This number 1 cylinder here is good to the best of our knowledge. Let's see, pick what you want to break and unhook that. Or you don't want to break it. I want to move this hose a little bit if I can. Get this up out of our way a little bit. This one I don't think we can. Yes, we can. Yes, sir. I don't know if you guys can see it, but we're going to hook it right off the intake. Get this one off. Get that out of our way. Okay. There. Get this crap out of the way. There, now we can see, baby. Let me go get some little holdy tools. Hold this crap out of our way, then we can get to our injectors. But I'm thinking to put an injector in it anyways. The plenum's got to get pulled off. Stupid Dodges. It's double Dodge madness. I got them sitting right next to a 2017 Hemi Dodge Ram 2500 with the big 6.4 or 6 something gas job. And it needs a heater core. And the guy's appointment was yesterday morning, but he got slightly confused and didn't show up till about 11 o'clock. Well, at that point, I already wrote it off and was putting injectors in a 2017 Chevrolet with the big 5.3, and then this guy shows up. I'm here for my appointment. He's an old guy. I didn't have the heart to tell him to go pound sand, but not that I would anyways, even if he was a young guy. It's just like, well, we'll get her done when we get her done. So it's, you know, gotta slap a 8-hour heater core job in the middle of my day here, which I planned on having done yesterday, but anyhow. The Jeep thing, let's see, there's that one. That's our suspect bad one. Here's our known good. According to service data, between 9 and 18 ohms is our spec. And they say about 1 amp of current. So let's see where we're at. Hopefully it's bad. We'll get our ohmage meter out here. See if our leads are any good. 0.000. We'll check our known good. I'm guessing 14.1. 14.1 is my guess. 12.4. Check our suspect bad one. Ooh. 4, 500, 600. So she's way up into the kiloohm range. So she's at 7,000, or actually 782 ohms, not quite 1,000 ohms, because we were at 0.750 kiloohms, so 780 ohms, about 800 ohms of resistance. So no further testing required. It must have been working when it's cold, but yeah, 12.4 on that one. So I don't know if you guys could see that or not, but big difference between 12 ohmage and 800. Needs an injector. Easy peasy. Thank you to the last guy who didn't put the bolts in the backside of that. We appreciate that. And let me call the customer. I don't know who they are. I got to give them a quote. Napper had that one injector in stock, which I already have on the way because I was just guessing. I doubt, you know, we probably don't even have to take the plenum all the way off. We can probably just, because the fuel injector rail sits just underneath the plenum, we can probably just take the bolts out of it and just scooch it to the side without unhooking anything else off it, and then take the bolts out of our rail. Because is this plastic? Yeah, the line across the back's plastic, so we can just scooch it to the side a little. Pippity poppity poop. Take that thing right off. I think we'll be okay. I could be wrong. We'll find out. Well, the guy said get after it, so we're just gonna take and get after it. And I think, I'm thinking, we'll just pop the whole intake right off instead of trying to shimmy. I don't think there's a bracket on the back. Should be just like the minivans, except there's only one bracket on this side, but somebody's already pulled the Christmas tree fastener out of it. So somebody's already worked on this thing, which is kind of nice to a certain degree. We'll just take and we got another little bracket here. I guess that one can stay on. We'll just take and pop this thing off here real quick like a little bunny. I think we can leave this bracket alone. Let's take and pull these nuts off. Both of these nuts. So we got both of them off. Find a place to set them. Let's see. Let's get a little Christmas tree remover thing. We've already got our little hook doodad out here. What's this for? The brake booster must be. I'm assuming. Yep. Get behind this hose here. Pop that little guy off. And then there's a couple more nuts right here. Hold this little bracket. Finish them off with a handy. So this little bracket here, you could pop the Christmas tree fasteners out of it, but it looks like it is a bracket. Okay, it does go down to the front, so those do need to be removed 100%. Push down this harness, get that Christmas tree fastener off, and then we do have to get them out of this bracket here. There's one. They usually come out a lot easier if somebody's already had them out, which must be these, have been. And there's that one. So those little guys are out. And then there should be a wire on our throttle body, which will get this hose off here. Let's grab an 8mm. Pull that little fella right off. That little guy. Oh, what we got? Intake air temp, it says. Somewhere it probably says that. So unhook it. So that over here. And then we can get to the connector here on the front of our throttle body. It's got your classic red clip. Oh, I think it might already be pushed out even. It is attached to the throttle body with a little wedgie type thing here. Kind of just bites on there. Get that off. I can't hit the release tab. I don't want it to break. These connectors are quite delicate. So we're going to come in from the front side and release it and unplug it. That way we don't break the tab. For whatever reason, Chrysler really went El Cheapo on the throttle body connectors. Like I said, for whatever reason, they're super delicate. They're like a lady. Like a lady. Twice as slow and half the pressure. Heard that a time or two, haven't you? Maybe not. Oh man, well, that one bolt back there looks like a real son of a mother to get to. So, well, let me figure out what we're gonna do here. There's usually always that one bolt, you know. Alrighty. Pretty sure. Yeah, there's that one bolt right back there. I think that's the only one that's gonna be a pain. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Then the fourth one. I don't think it'll be too bad. Let's get an 8mm. We're probably gonna need a little swivel to get to that very rear one. I think we'll do okay. We'll do okay. You know why? Because we're gonna do it together. Oh. Now we're going way back yonder. There she is, boys. Now we should be good now. We got to give it the classic up and over, because we didn't take these brackets off on this side, you know, down where they hook down low. I'm hoping we can just pick it up a little. It's my hope and my dream. We'll have to pick these bolts up and give them a little twirl. That way they stay kind of jammed up in the intake. And they're not going to hinder us. See if we can get to the back guy. Get back here, give him a little pickup and a twirl. And then there's one more down here. which we can't get. But if we're only contended with one of them, that's better than 8 of them. Oh yeah, Robert, your mother's brother. There it is, baby. Got the factory installed mouse nesting material. Okay, that's this stuff right here. No mice yet, so that's good. We'll move this stuff out of our way. Probably should put some little hankies in there, because you know about Murphy. We don't want him showing up. We got the quicker, thicker picker upper in there now. We'll tie these back to our little twirligig. Wrap that around there. Avoca so. That'll hold that out of the way for us. And now it's easy peasy. Told you it was easy. It looks like we have 2 torquey bits right here. However, there's a lot of junk laying down here, so we're going to give this a little toot. There's no reason why we can't, right? Nothing else that's open. Let's get it blown out, so we'll blow this junk out. We'll take a couple screws out. Because even if we take a really long time to do this job, we still have the heater core job sitting 10 feet away that we don't really want to do today, but we're gonna. So let's just get her done. Alright, there you go. Using the Venturi effect, we can clear out that area, creating a low pressure, sucking out the debris. So now, tell you what, let's give them a little toot of something to make them slippery. We can unhook our last connector in the rear. Everything looks like it's all plastic. We're gonna unhook injector number 5. Get the infamous red clip up. Boom, there's that one. We'll give them a steady pull. They seem pretty stuck, the O-rings of course. Let's get some of the best penetrating fluid known to man in the world. It's been proven time and time again. The WD. I just say that because it pisses people off. But that's okay. We're going to put a little bit down there and make that O-ring slippery, as well as displacing the water, right? Can's almost empty. I'm going to have to buy a new can if I want to keep making people upset. Let's see. Just seeing if I can't give it a little little pull. Not really a good place to get under this rail. Oh, yeah, there she goes. One O-ring fell off. I just saw that. That one came up and out. The O-ring did not, though. We're gonna have to put some of these back together. That one came out. The O-ring fell off. Gasoline everywhere's dripping on the floor. That injector stayed in the rail. That's our bad one. This guy right here. Okay, let's fix some of the screw ups here first. Not really screw ups, just we don't want to lose our O-rings. There's one, a blue O-ring. Hopefully the other one didn't get washed down with all the gas. It did not. Here's the other one way in the back. There's that blue O-ring. And I'm going to stick that very gingerly back on top of the injector that's still in the intake manifold. We're going to give that a little click back on there, boom. And then down inside the manifold, where the number 3 injector lives, is the O-ring for it. And we're going to pull that up very carefully. It's the pink one. That's the bottom O-ring, which we need to take out. Okay. Okay, children. Let's see what we can do to get out of there. There's that one. So here is our faulty fuel injector, number 3. So that's it. Now we're still waiting for Napa. Patiently, we're gonna leave those injectors right in there. There's no sense of making a mountain out of a molehill. We'll leave our injector rail right out here like this. No sense in doing anything else with it. It's gonna be clean up on the inside. We'll give her a little toot of the brake clean anyways. I'm gonna get a Q-tip. We're gonna clean out this injector hole. There's a little bit of schmoo sitting on top of it. And the last thing you want in your injector is some schmoo. Plug her off with a bigger Q-tip. There we go. Now we're cooking. Hey, it's the Napa guy.
Jeep ASAP it says.
ASAP.
Oh boy.
Way to hustle.
Alright, so cool.
Napa guy just showed up with your classic 2-39 or 214. Where's it made? Right here in America. America. Let's see, does it look like the OEM? Probably. There's a lot of Napa stuff, just Reeboks. Yep, this is just a Reeboks OEM. This is just a Bosch fuel injector in an Napa box. So there it is. OEM part in an aftermarket box. Probably costs more than OEM. But we got her done today. Wow, would they? Come on, my guy. It's a flip, man. Great packaging, Chrysler. Freaking jerk holes. Wow, that's real handy. Idiots. So yeah, she's a Bosch. America. All right, well, let's get some lube. We'll stick it down in there. I'm gonna put a little bit of lube on this O-ring. I'm gonna put a little bit on the top O-ring just because we're right here. I'm not gonna show you what kind of lube because people will flip out. They will lose their minds. Remove that. Just use a slippery lube. How's that sound? And if you are using a silicone lube, rest assured, this little bit of silicone lube you're putting on your O-rings is not going to poison the catalytic converters, regardless of what the kids say in the forums, okay? So if I were using a silicone lubricant, which I'm not, because why would I do that? I'll tell you why I would do that. A, because it works. And B, it's really slippery. And C, because it works really well. And we'll put these things back in. Now these are a very coarse thread, like a wood screw. Easiest way to get them started is to spin them backwards till you feel them click. And then spin them forwards. Does that make sense to you? It will when you're putting them in, I'll tell you that. Torque them down to a few Newton meters, but not too many. Give that a little bit extra. Give that a little extra, call it good. Grab your blow nozzle. If there's any gas inside the connector, blow it out. Just want to get rid of that extra residual gasoline or petrol for our viewers across the pond. We're going to plug these little guys back in, put the red clips down for the next guy, and to keep the connector from spontaneously disconnecting. There, just like so. We'll put this Christmas tree fastener in because the last jerk didn't. And this one right here, we'll put this one back in. We'll cover our tracks. Okay. And this one here cannot go back on, meow. because that one went onto the intake manifold. Okay. I think we're in good shape for the shape we're in. Let's unhook this. We're gonna set our intake back on. You know what? We didn't even ohm check that new injector. We're so risque. We're just gonna assume that the injector's good. If it's not, that's really gonna just burn my biscuits, I'll tell you that. All right, we'll stick this stuff over here. Let's get our little windy-uppy thing here. Go back the other way. That'll keep us out of the way for when we're putting the intake on. Wrap it around the purge valve. Okay? These gaskets are in very nice shape. They're still sticking up there nice and high. So it won't be a problem resealing. Look what this idiot did. He unscrewed this bolt because he thought it was one of the intake bolts, when really it only has 3 on this side and 4 on the other. Classic move from a guy who doesn't know what he's doing. Torque to spec. Again, breaking out the classic move right there. We'll pull out our friend Bounty. There's all of that stuff. Let's grab our intake manifold. We'll slide that little fella on there. And then what you gotta do, you gotta give it the slide over the opposite way we took it off. So let me move here a little bit so I can see on this side. Bring her over, line her up, boom, drop it in. And then the same thing with these bolts, folks. You gotta be careful starting these things. It's like driving in a lag into a 2x4 here. About that primitive. Spin them backwards a little and then forwards. You'll feel it. You'll know what I'm talking about. It's called the reverse clicker. It's a very classic move in the automotive industry. All the cool guys know it. And then 7 to 9 Newton meters on these. Evenly. We'll finish these off with a handy just to be sure. You don't want to go hog wild with your tool. Alright, then we got one way in the back, don't we? Yes, sir. Get us down. Alright, we'll leave that one right there. Let's go grab us a little torque wrench. We'll give her 7 to 9 Fig Newtons. We're just very lightly snugged. Come right across here. Let's get them all. They were all pretty close anyways. But yeah, if you're not using a torque wrench, don't go hog wild, man. These things are just barely tight. And I imagine it would just yank the plastic out of the intake if you did go hog wild. But resist the urge as much as you can. So there's that and this and that. This stuff went over here somewheres. But we got to get that stinking bracket the stinking bracket. We got to get that where it needs to be. So we're gonna put our little twisty tie back on here. Bring it over here, wrap it around the AC line. Boom, that'll hold that out of the way for us. And then start putting stuff back. Got a vacuum line there. Got some other stuff that needs to go on. A lot of oil coming out of that throttle body. I guess while we're right here, we'll put this bracket back in. Wouldn't have been hilarious if that just fell out and hit the ground? As much as we fiddled with it. We're gonna get it looped up and around. And then we need to stick it on the stud down by the exhaust here. The stud that had no nut. So that's back on. Get these heater lines back on. Come on, baby! There's that one. And then we've got our purge. Hey, it's that guy. Clip that back in. Stick it back in the one-time use clip. Christmas tree fastener that was missing when it came in. We're really kicking butt and taking names, folks. Boom. Boom. This fancy connector, this thing's kind of a work of art. Look at that. Way to go, Dodge. That's something you'll never hear mechanics say. Way to go, Dodge. I don't know. Actually, their interior design and disassembly is actually pretty nice. Granted, you do a lot of heater cores in them because they're junk. I do like taking apart their interiors because they use pretty much the same size fastener and the same screw for pretty much everything, which that's pretty handy, you know, if you think about it. And they make their components come apart in big modular assemblies, which is also nice. The not nice part is, you know, the customer has to pay a lot of money to put a heater core in every so often. What are you gonna do? You know, I tell them, I didn't build it, I didn't buy it, I didn't break it. Tough patootie. Hopefully these are in the exact orientation that they were, or somebody's gonna call me a scumbag. They got little white paint marks on them where they go. We got them, man. We got them, buddy. I knew we could do it. So there's that. And we put all this stuff back how it's supposed to be from the factory, except for the potential missing nut down there. Which, who knows? Maybe they didn't have one from the factory. No, there's some zip ties down there. Somebody else has been here. Okay. But we left it better than they did. So that's good. Get your little twirly-uppy thing here. Put that where you won't lose it. And then on this side, we'll put on these nuts to there. And then we got a couple over here up by the throttle body. Okay. That one. And this one we'll say. This and that. Grab the torque wrench. Oh, we're locked out. Why did I put a freaking line? This stupid thing. I should just cut that thing off. There's that one. There's that one. We'll come get this little guy back here. A couple of these. 1, 2. Buckle your shoe. There's that one. Got a little hose here for the brake booster. Boom, should be a wire somewheres for our map. If you don't plug that in, you'll get lost. Cause that's your map sensor. I tell you, that's how the car knows where it is. That's what makes your navigation work. Map sensor. I'm just kidding. Don't believe anything I tell you. But seriously, that's what it does. Maps out where you are. Right. Plug in our throttle body. Push in the red clip. Now we'll put the air filter tube thing back in. What's up, Mrs. O?
I need this password.
ABC123.
You so
Oh,
is there a capital?
no, I'll tell you what it is. I gotta turn this off. This is a good one. I didn't want the people to know. Our secret.
Yes. Super secret.
Super secret. I just explained to people what the map sensor is.
Tells you where you're going?
Boom, see? What I tell you?
Yeah.
Exactly. How's your car supposed to know where you're going unless you have your map sensor?
Exactly.
Everybody knows that.
Actually, let's see. Oh. I'm not sure.
It tells you where you're going. I just explained to the people. It runs your GPS. Think about it. Old carbureted cars, no GPS, boom. Didn't have map sensor. Manifold absolute pressure, Mrs. O, if you must know. Which essentially tells the computer where the car is in elevation. Sometimes. Because it can measure barometric pressure too. On some cars, but not all cars. Gets complicated.
I'm confused.
Me too. But you know what I say, fake it till you make it.
Yep. Do what you gotta do.
Get her done, right? Get her done. Very inspirational.
Yes.
We should be life coaches. All right, let's see if this thing works. All right, here we go, folks. Look for gas spraying everywhere. Did a quick key on. We'll give it a second. Back off, back on. Contact. Move that button. We'll go back to our home. Here, we'll give it the quickie race. We'll get rid of them. It's not being real quick, is it? There it goes. All right, get rid of our low tire code. Let's fire this pig back up. There's that. It's interesting to me because how the camera picks up engine noise. Every engine I work on is quote unquote knocking. Like, that thing's terrible, that thing's knocking. All the comment section, even watch the comments here, because somebody won't make it this far in the video and they'll comment how poor the engine sounds. It's just my this little guy right here. It does a good job of picking stuff up. No, it's suspended, but anyway, yeah, it's not misfiring. I don't have anything to prove to you. So she's good to go. That's it. Nothing more to see. We're not gonna waste any more time because, well, frankly, we got to pull a heater cord. Who wants to watch that job on video? Too bad. Because I simply just don't have enough time today to do that, folks. I would have yesterday if you showed up on time, so be mad at him, not me. And I'll be mad at you if you don't go into that comment section and leave one. The comment, the questions, the concerns. Make sure you guys are subscribing. You gotta hit that button, do it. All the cool kids do it. Insta, Facebook, you guys know what to do. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.